ahead, we'll meet some of the recipients of this year's Medical Dedication Awards in Taiwan. We learn more about the different types of mangroves in Taiwan and why they are considered as national treasures. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helena. Thank you for joining us. Although it has been more than a year since the Ya'an earthquake in Sichuan, China, Tzu Chi volunteers' love and assistance for disaster survivors has continued. Knowing that education brings hope, the Tzu Chi Foundation launched 4 construction projects to rebuild schools that were severely damaged during the tremor. Recently, a joint groundbreaking ceremony was held for 3 of the rebuilding projects. Let's take a look.
Taiwan.
The rebuilding project of Yucheng District, Ya'an and Lushan County by the Tzu Chi Foundation of Taiwan officially begins.
Today marks the beginning of Tzu Chi's rebuilding project in Ya'an, Sichuan province following last year's earthquake.
Today, we are hosting a joint groundbreaking ceremony for 3 different areas: Lushan High School, Hanbeilu Elementary School, and the Lushan Teacher Training Center.
On April 20th, 2013, Ya'an, Sichuan province was struck by a strong quake. At the epicenter, many schools in Lushan County were either destroyed or severely damaged.
From kindergarten, elementary school to senior high school, all the schools in the province were damaged by the earthquake. I hope everyone can contribute their share to help us rebuild.
Following an assessment, the Tzu Chi Foundation decided to rebuild the Guozhang High School, which was in bad shape after the strong quake.
You see the land over here? The total length of the school will go from here to here.
Knowing that education brings hope, Tzu Chi volunteers make sure the schools are built with highest quality materials.
This area was struck by strong quake, so we need to make sure all the schools are designed to resist earthquakes. We're very strict regarding the construction quality.
Education is the cornerstone of a nation's development. I hope the construction of our schools can be conducted with extra attentiveness to make sure our high standards are being met at every step. We need to make our schools the safest place for everyone.
Following the Ya'an earthquake, the Tzu Chi Foundation started 4 construction projects in and around the disaster areas. Besides the Mingshan Senior High School, which is already under construction, 3 other schools have begun construction as of October 31st. Here in Taiwan, the Medical Dedication Award ceremony took place on November 1st. This year, recipients of the award were mostly health workers serving rural and remote communities, including Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital Superintendent Pan Yongqian, who has been safeguarding the health and well-being of residents in eastern Taiwan for more than a decade. Another recipient recognized for his medical contribution was 92-year-old Shi Chunren, who has cultivated countless talented individuals in the field of medicine during his tenure. Let's take a look.
Accepting the Medical Contribution Award is Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital Superintendent Pan Yongqian. Born in Hong Kong and later relocating to Taiwan, Pan devoted a great portion of his life to serving patients of eastern Taiwan.
Being able to help patients brings us so much happiness in return. That's why we decided to stay in Guanshan.
Superintendent Pan's dedication to his profession and the residents of eastern Taiwan is shared by his wife, who has been a major source of support over the years.
I've been living in Guanshan for the past 12 years. During these 12 years, there was nothing I couldn't adjust to because my life had become very simple because of him.
Also celebrating this momentous occasion is nonagenarian Shi Chunren, who is attending the award ceremony with his grandson. He has also cultivated countless talented individuals in the field of medicine. During his tenure as Chief of the Department of Health, Shi drafted the country's medical law and also insisted on a comprehensive smoking cessation strategy to be put in place.
My first day on the job, I ordered the removal of ashtrays from our conference room tables.
Not in pursuit of fame or fortune and putting the well-being of their patients first, it is the spirit of selflessness that continues to inject hope into the far-flung villages of Taiwan. Making it his mission to safeguard the health of residents, Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital Superintendent Pan Yongqian's care extends beyond national borders.
Disasters, tsunamis, and earthquakes occur all over the world. Hence, I'm grateful for the establishment of the Tzu Chi Foundation, because without it, we wouldn't have the opportunity to serve those in need.
地震的灾难，都有机会去服务。
Pan's hands-on approach of diagnosing and treating illness has won the trust of many over the years. A local NGO, the Taiwan Healthcare Reform Foundation, was also recognized for its efforts in improving the quality of healthcare in Taiwan. Selflessly serving those in the forgotten corners of society, these award recipients are helping residents see a brighter tomorrow.
Remote Taidong County of Taiwan is the most limited in medical service and resources in all of the nation's counties, but thankfully there is a group of dedicated medical personnel who devote themselves to serving all those in need in this area. We now visit the Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital to meet Superintendent Pan Yongqian, who has served here since 2002. To safeguard the locals' health, Dr. Pan works over 80 hours a week, which has won him award after award.
差不多啊，没有什么，有吗？你怎么知道？没有呢，没有变短啊，差不多啊。
At the remote Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital, Superintendent Pan Yongqian is known for his unique Cantonese accent. From Hong Kong, Dr. Pan studied medicine at the renowned National Taiwan University some 30 years ago. After becoming a doctor, he joined the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital and ended up in Guanshan Taidong in 2002.
一部分的病人也觉得，
Some patients grew quite fond of my accent because there are a lot of Hakka people here, and they speak sort of like me, so I'm often mistaken as a Hakka.
需要145，
稍微高一点。
90、64。
自己的意长啦，你知无？知摇者。
来看你，
好摇好。
好唔好？
稍微啊。
In this remote township, providing medical service is not limited to hospitals. Making house calls helps deliver treatment to those in need. For those under home care, many are troubled by infections due to their feeding and tracheotomy tubes or urinary catheters, while some have to watch out for pressure ulcers.
拉一下会有点难过，吞面条一样，吞口水，把它吞下去。
吞一下。
After making house calls, Dr. Pan immediately heads back to the hospital for his orthopedic clinic. He seems to have endless energy. For more than a decade, the hospital has been providing 24-hour ER service. Only a total of 6 doctors are stationed here, and they are supported by some 100 nurses, technicians, and administrative staff.
各位乡亲，大家好，我们是关山慈济医院巡回医疗服务团队。为了维护乡亲的健康，请到我们看诊的地点，由专业的医师为您的健康把关。
In areas without a health center, the mobile clinic begins with just a few tables and chairs, while the back of the minivan serves as a temporary pharmacy. Thanks to Dr. Pan and his dedicated staff members, it is easy to forget that Taidong County is the least adequate in medical service in all of Taiwan's counties.
Southern Taiwan continues to be troubled by water shortage, so it is very important for everyone to conserve water. To maintain the school's landscape without breaking the bank while still conserving water, the Tzu Chi Senior High School in Tainan turns to the local sewage plant, where treated effluent is provided to all free of charge. But first, we meet a family of 5 in Tainan, whose water bill is only $4 to $6 for every 2 months.
A drainage pipe and several water tanks and hoses are Xiao Songxiong's water-saving tools.
The water collected from the roof is directed here.
Living in Tainan, Taiwan, Xiao collects and reuses rainwater from his roof, which is stored in water tanks that are linked together by hoses.
I've been doing this for some 20 years. At the time, I just wanted to give these discarded items a second lease on life.
这设备安尼个利用安尼就对啦。啊，桶啊是人
So without spending a fortune, Xiao has built a rainwater collection system. He uses the water to water plants, mop floors, and flush toilets. He also reuses the water from washing rice, vegetables, and hands. To save more water, the family doesn't use a washing machine.
I do the laundry by hand. The first rinse is discarded, but the second rinse I will use to water plants after exposing to the sun. The third rinse can be used for flushing toilets.
Though the couple has to go out of their way to save water, they enjoy the work. They say not only do they get a workout, they also get to save money as well.
I can save some water and money. My water bill for 2 months is about $4 to $6 US.
We can live without electricity, but we can't live without water. If we all save just a little bit, maybe we won't have water shortages.
A trickle can become a stream and then a river. Organizations that have high water use, such as schools, can save water too. The Anping sewage treatment plant provides treated effluent to residents free of charge.
The treated effluent is mainly used for watering plants on campus. Whatever is left will be stored in the middle pond, which we can then use for flushing toilets or for cleaning purposes.
To maintain the lush vegetation on the beautiful campus of Tainan City Senior High costs a lot of water. But thanks to the free treated effluent, the school doesn't have to spend much.
Every time we water the plants, we will need at least 2 tons of water, which averages around 10 tons a month.
As southern Taiwan continues to cope with constant water shortages, it is imperative that everyone tries to adopt water-saving practices and make sure every drop counts.
Did you know that mangroves are titled as a national treasure in Taiwan? Mangrove generally refers to a group of trees or shrubs that grow in saline coastal sediment habitats in the tropics and subtropics. There were originally 6 types of mangroves in Taiwan. However, due to overdevelopment, only 4 kinds are left. In our next report, we'll learn more about the different species of mangroves and why we should cherish these national treasures. Here's more. In New Taipei City, there is an area called Hongshu Ling, which can be translated literally as red forest. However, when you walk through the area, you only see green plants. So why is the area called Hongshu Ling?
Hongshu Ling, also known as mangroves, are various types of trees and shrubs. There are approximately 83 species in 30 genera from 24 families across the globe.
In Southeast Asia, people will extract tannins from the tree bark of mangroves and use it as red dye. So many overseas Chinese called it the red tree. This area is influenced by cold currents, which affect the growth of the mangroves. Over here, mangroves that are 3 meters high are considered very tall. In tropical areas or close to the equator, mangroves can grow as tall as 4 meters or even taller.
Currently, there are 4 types of mangroves in Taiwan, including the Candelilla obovata, Rhizophora stylosa, Limnitera, and black mangrove. The Hongshu Ling area is covered with Candelilla obovata. If one takes a closer look, one can see Candelilla obovata seeds germinating. Before germination, the seeds were attached to the parent tree.
It is hard for the seeds to germinate when the airborne salinity level is not high enough. This makes Candelilla obovata a special kind of mangrove because its seeds germinate while still attached to the parent tree.
The seeds have just germinated. This Candelilla obovata tree is taller. Candelilla obovata trees only grow in a specific environment. Sunshine and the level of tides can affect their growth.
Unlike most plants, Candelilla obovata seeds are buoyant and are therefore well suited to water disposal. The seeds can stay fresh for up to a month, and their tannin content often discourages animals from consuming them. Currently, Candelia obovata trees can be seen around the 淡水、红树林、竹围 and 蛙仔围 areas.
2003年发表的记录是。
According to a research done in 2003, which compared the Candelia obovata in China, Japan, and Taiwan, the genetic formation of the Candelia obovata found in Taiwan is very different compared to those in other countries. The Hongshuling area has the largest concentration of this type of tree.
30 years ago, the Taiwanese government plans to turn the Candelia obovata swamp around Zhuwei into housing zones. This project soon caught the attention of many scholars and conservationists. In order to call on more people to protect the mangrove forest, it was titled as National Treasure.
Mangroves are titled as National Treasure because it represents the beginning of the conservation movement in Taiwan. We had to give it that title to draw public attention.
Furthermore, a report conducted following the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami suggests that the tsunami caused less damage in the areas where natural barriers such as mangroves were present. However, this does not mean that mangroves can be used as revetment.
It is pointless to grow mangroves in areas that suffer subsidence because they can't prevent tsunamis. Mangroves can't grow in eroded terrain either.
To make sure that generations to come can also enjoy these natural beauties, it is important to remember to cherish them today. Next to me, another winner of this year's 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award, 27-year-old Lori Chen. In the aftermath of the 2010 Haiti earthquake, Lori joined Tzuji's relief missions to Haiti to offer her assistance to quake survivors, as well as care for children who were orphaned overnight. Having found her true calling by serving others, Lori became inspired to help all children in need.
You know, life has to end, and it's just the karma, and the kids and I had a great time while they were here, and it was just their time to go.
Always wearing a smile on her face, in the prime of life, Lori Chen already understands the impermanence of life, as she has witnessed suffering and poverty in some of the most desolate corners of the world. During college, Lori traveled to Ethiopia to care for orphans together with other lost and abandoned children. As her mother is a Tzu Chi volunteer, Lori has nurtured a compassionate heart since young.
When I was little, I often saw my mom and other Tzu Chi aunties helping people in need. So for me, helping others has become my duty.
In the aftermath of the Haiti earthquake in 2010, many children became orphans overnight. Lori, who was pursuing a master's degree in child development in the United States at the time, decided to join Tzu Chi's relief mission to Haiti.
Because I was assisting with the translations, I went to free clinics, distributions, and anywhere else they needed me.
Having found her calling, Lori aims to study medicine in France to help children in need. After receiving the 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award, Lori is even more determined to actualize her goal.
Many people may think this award is a huge honor. For me, yes, it is an achievement, but it also means assuming more responsibilities.
The bond that Lori shares with her grandmother is a pillar of support, and Lori's mother has learned to transform her worries into blessings for her child.
The master always tells us not to worry over our children. We should give them our blessings instead. And that is exactly what I did. I gave her wings with which to fly.
Living out her dreams and aspirations, Lori hopes to join UNICEF in the near future to help more children as well as to spread her love to all corners of the world.
This past weekend in Taiwan was the 20th year of the Global Jingsi Camp, which saw over 600 participants from over 10 countries attend. In the short 3-day camp, participants visited numerous areas from Taipei to Hualien to learn more about Tzu Chi and the Foundation's ideals. At its completion, many of the participants walked away with lessons to share with others back home.
For the over 600 participants of this year's Global Jingsi Camp, their first stop is the DaAi TV station in Taipei. The video of a boy who suffered from cerebral palsy touched the hearts of many.
I now show my kids more love, so I've turned my love outwards so that more people can feel the love.
plastic melts at around 120 degrees Celsius, give or take 10 degrees, so we will separate them into 3 categories to increase their resale value.
The campers also got to try their hands at imprinting a logo on Tzu Ji's signature gray blanket.
原来是个轻巧劲，不要用蛮劲了。这样子，但是最后我又提到，
Not wasting a moment of their 3-day tour, after the events in Taipei, the campers took an evening train to Hualien. The next morning, they woke early to listen to Master Zhenyan's teachings. For those who didn't understand Taiwanese or Mandarin, live translation was available.
The luxurious lifestyle I was seeking before is no longer something I desire. Now my pursuit is something more calming, but how to achieve that needs cultivation.
Hoping to achieve a spiritual life, these campers find that the seminar has taught them the wisdom they need to continue on their path of cultivation. Among the campers is David Ding from Las Vegas, Nevada, of the United States. Ding grew up in a Christian family and has 20 dental clinics in the state of California and Nevada. After learning more about Tzu Ji's Silent Mentor program, Ding felt it would be useful for American medical students to participate in as well.
Learning to be thankful and grateful will really benefit students later on, as they can apply that same treatment towards their patients once they enter the workforce.
Founder of a technology company, Xiao Zhenming feels in this modern age, many young people only seek fortune and fame and don't know how to deal with obstacles in life. Participating in this year's camp, Xiao says he has gained much wisdom to pass on to others.
To have balance in life, one needs to give. In giving, the spiritual gain is immeasurable.
Meanwhile, behind the scenes are volunteers of the Zhongshan district who are taking care of the campers during their stay in Taipei. First is welcoming the campers to the hotel.
Actually, I was pretty nervous last night thinking about coming to the hotel today because this isn't our own place. However, the day went pretty smoothly and we're happy with the results.
Putting their best foot forward, the volunteers made sure each participant got a good night's sleep and was ready to learn the next day.
We go to Paraguay at the end of the show, where Tzu Ji volunteers organize a year-end distribution at a school in Ciudad de Este for impoverished residents. Meanwhile, in Brazil, volunteers visited their care recipients in Sao Paulo. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.